My name is Shannon Clark, and I am the current president of the Rotary Club of Grand Rapids. It is an honor to be here with you tonight to gather and celebrate service, community, and the legacy of Andy DeVries, something I do not take lightly at all. Tonight recognizes the impact that one person can have through a life of service. We would like to begin by recognizing and thanking the organizations and individuals who made this evening possible. You saw their names on the prompters during our strolling dinner. The proceeds from tonight support the Grand Rapids Rotary Foundation and the work that it does both locally and globally. This includes programs like Strive, Interact, Rotary Youth Exchange, and several service projects we take part in, like with nonprofits like Indian Trails, Feeding America West Michigan, Community Storehouse, and Degage, just to name a very few. We also build wheelchair ramps, we clean our local parks and plant trees, we provide scholarships to students, and support clean water initiatives locally and around the world. Again, just to name a few. We stay pretty busy. This evening would not be possible without the generosity of our sponsors and community partners whose support you will see recognized throughout the evening. We would especially like to recognize and thank our presenting sponsor, Meijer. Meijer has supported this event since the beginning, as you saw. Their commitment reflects a deep alignment with Rotary's mission. Through the way that Fred Meijer built his business and treated his people and invested in his community, he truly embodied the spirit of service above self. We continue to see that legacy through Meijer's ongoing investment in organizations and initiatives that strengthen our community every day. Please join me in thanking Meijer for their continued partnership and generosity. It is now my pleasure to invite Chelsea Dewey up for invocation.
Good evening. I'm going to reflect in my tradition, and I invite you to reflect in yours. Heavenly Father, we are so honored and grateful to gather here today in this beautiful space, surrounded by people who care deeply about West Michigan, about serving others above themselves, and about loving their neighbors well. Tonight we celebrate the memory and service-filled life of Fred Meijer and Lena, and we thank you for the impact that he made on this community and for the ways his life helped make our world better. May we be a reflection of his example and be inspired by the legacy that his family holds and that he left behind. And Lord, we thank you for Andy DeVries. You placed him on this earth, in this community, at this time to impact hundreds of lives, maybe even thousands. We lift up Andy, his lovely wife Kay, and his beautiful family to you today, and ask that you continue to pour your favor, strength, and peace upon them. And we boldly pray for Andy's health, that he can be fully and totally healed, because he has a lot of work to do here yet, Lord. And we know that he is willing and ready to continue walking in your ways. We thank you for every person here who worked so hard to make this event possible. Thank you for the food, the laughter, the fellowship, and the time together. May we leave here encouraged, strengthened, and ready to get out there and do the good work you have called us each to do. We thank you, Lord, and pray all of this in your name. Amen.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Rachel Milliken, and I have had the absolute privilege of being co-chair of this committee, along with my other co-chair, J.R. Mueller, who unfortunately could not be here tonight. On behalf of the entire committee, thank you for being here tonight. This event truly comes together because of all of you in the room. It takes time, energy, generosity, and so much more. I'd also like to take a moment to thank my committee, who has worked above and beyond and behind the scenes for the past several months to bring this event to life. So if you are part of the Service Above Self Committee, will you please stand up so we can thank you for all of your hours that you've put into this event. Thank you all. This evening truly could not be possible without your dedication. Over the past few months, many of us have had the opportunity to spend more time learning about Andy, and not just what he has done, but also the impact he has made on so many of us just in this very room. And what stands out most is not just the scope of his service, but the consistency of it. The quiet, steady way that he has shown up for all of us and for the community. That's what makes tonight so special. It's not just about recognizing one moment or one achievement. It's about honoring a life lived in service. To help tell that story a little bit more, I would love to invite Melissa Janes to share a bit about her experience getting to know Andy and his story.
He changed my life. I'm so lucky. I wouldn't be where I am today. We're about to watch a short video about Andy DeVries, but first, I'd like to share the origin of its creation. You see, as a volunteer for this event, I thought I was signing up to make a few simple, ordinary phone calls. But as many of you know, when the topic is Andy DeVries, ordinary tasks don't stay ordinary for long. As we prepared for tonight, Andy shared a list of his mentees to invite, many of them former Calvin students. As I reached out to them, checking off that to-do list, something unexpected started to develop. First of all, voicemails were returned almost instantly, within seconds. Quick calls turned into long conversations. My phone filled with photos and stories from Andy and from friends that they were eager to share. And I got to glimpse his amazing life, as well as imagining the sacrifices made by his family and by Kay as Andy served our community with so much love and passion. But every conversation kept going back to the same message. He changed my life. I'm so lucky. I wouldn't be where I am today. And from many of these folks, they said, because of Andy, now I'm helping others. So again and again, people shared how Andy had changed their lives through his generosity, through faith, and through the simple act of investing in each other. Special thanks to Rotary member J.R. Muller. We now have preserved these stories and videos and the photos you've seen tonight into a special website, Andy, that's a gift for you and your family. And that's when I realized that this evening is about much more than honoring just one person. It's about honoring the power of mentorship and the ripple effect that one person can have across countless lives. And that spirit, it's Rotary at its best. So tonight, as we celebrate Andy, I'm going to challenge each of you. What would it be like to live a little bit more like Andy? Have that coffee with someone new. Ask, how can I help? Guide a student. Open your home. Stay focused on your family. Make introductions. Invest in another person. And be like Andy. Thank you.
Andy has impacted my life in many ways. Andy took a chance on me early in my life, probably before anybody should have taken a chance on me.
We ran into each other somewhere on campus and he said, "What are you planning on doing with that degree?" I only had 2 years left of college and I really hadn't thought much about that. And that's where he stepped in and really helped guide me with simple things like creating a resume, how to interview, what types of jobs or careers might be best suited for me. He really helped bring me out of just being a college student and working towards becoming a working professional.
He really poured himself into a ton of students there at Calvin. While I was a student there, he really was an advocate for me, both financially and through the academics. Yeah, he went to bat for me a bunch of times, and I couldn't believe that as just a knucklehead from Southern Indiana, that he would take it upon himself to really go to bat for me.
Andy taught me how to sell. Andy taught me how to market. Andy taught me how to think critically. Today, I own a marketing company that serves financial advisors around the country. I'm not sure I would own this company if it weren't for Andy.
He was really the first person that I connected with that I developed that kind of relationship with.
Andy became a friend and a mentor shortly after Kelvin.
It was really his care that I would say kind of solidified our friendship. That's kind of how he changed me or changed our lives together. He helped me through school. He helped me grow as a person. And in fact, I think he even helped me get my first internship out of college. And so there were a lot of things that he really went to bat for me on and just kind of helping me grow up.
Neil, this is where you come up. Somebody read the run of show. Well, Neil probably does need an introduction. He is the foundation president and an amazing man, and has a personal relationship with Andy. He's the man that needs no introduction, but here you are.
Thank you. So I want to take you back in time. It's 1980s. Andy and his company are on the front page or the front cover of national magazines for their success in the telephone industry. Two young students from East Grand Rapids come to the Rotary Club. Andy's at the height of his, power and prestige. They come to the Rotary Club and they ask, hey, should I go to Princeton or Yale? Andy recognizes that those kids had the resources to be successful and they were going to be successful regardless. The kids that needed our focus and needed our attention were the kids in the bottom of GRPS. So he says to the president of the club at the time, hey, we should be focusing on those kids. Those kids need us. And the president told him, do it. So he did. Andy started Strive, which is our program for students taking a renewed interest in the value of education. And he worked and worked to raise the money to get enough money together for the summer work stipends and the college scholarships for the kids and to launch it. And he did. And he goes to his, he starts the program, he goes to meet his first mentee. He shows up, nice business suit, nice car. Mentee's not there. Waits around. What's going on? So, next week, he does it again. And the kid doesn't show. Again and again and again, Andy shows up. Finally, he asks the security guard, what's going on? Doesn't this kid want my help? The security guard says, he's watching you. He's here. He needs to know that you're going to be here for him, that you're safe. Finally, they meet and they start talking to each other, and Andy's trying to connect with the kid from a seemingly entirely different background. Through a chance meeting with the coach of the Lions at the time, Andy tells the coach of the Lions, hey, I'm trying to connect with my mentee and I'm really struggling with how. The coach says, give me your address. Tell me the kid's name. I'll help you out here. A couple weeks later, Andy gets a letter in the mail addressed to his mentee from Barry Sanderson, telling the mentee, take his advice, take the help I wish I had. They start connecting, they develop a beautiful relationship. Andy helps him over the course of years, personally and financially, and change the kid's life. That is one story of what Andy has done. That one story shows us that service above self is not always easy, but is the ethos by which we live our lives. Andy, at the height of his power and influence, used that power and influence to elevate others and empower our community. Service above self includes overcoming adversity. Andy had to try and connect with that student, just as he had to try when he was starting new organizations, such as the West Michigan Soccer Officials Association, or the precursor to the AYSO, the Youth Soccer League, where my son is practicing right now. Service above self includes sacrifice, time away from family, but spent helping others. Hundreds, if not thousands of people mentored through Strive, Kelvin, and even today. Time working to build Ottawa County parks and ensuring riparian rights so that Grand Rapids was connected down the river to the lakeshore. Financial sacrifice. When Andy sold his company, him and Kay made the decision to start a foundation and quietly has helped organizations throughout our community for decades. Service above self also includes sharing joy and fulfilling community needs. As we'll see in a video about Valley Field, Andy's most recent service project. These just skim the surface of everything that Andy has done. And in this way, Andy is so much like Fred Meyer and so deserving of this award. Fred is a legend in our community and has given and touched all of our lives. And that is why we are so grateful for the Meyer family and the Meyer Corporation support over these past years. Over the last 11 years with Meyer's partnership in this event, we've raised almost $300,000 from Meyer's alone just to support the good work the Rotary Club of Grand Rapids Charities Foundation does in this community and that the club does volunteering in this community. And that's why it's my privilege and honor to introduce you to Brian Danner. Did I get that right?
You got it.
That's the thing I wrote down I was worried about. I introduce you to Brian Danner, the East Grand Rapids Market Director for Meyer. Brian, thank you so much, and thank you to the Meyers and the Meyer family for all of your support over the years. Brian will will present the award to Andy this evening.
Well, thank you, Neil. And as Neil said, my name is Brian Danner. I'm the market director for the East Grand Rapids regions at Meyer. So I'm thrilled to be able to speak to you for a few minutes tonight about Meyer and our connection to the Rotary Club of Grand Rapids. As some of you know, Fred Meyer was a member of the Rotary Club for nearly 70 years, and his commitment to community continues to drive our business today. Fred was first introduced to the Rotary Club when he was 18 years old back in 1937. Ben East, an outdoor writer for the Grand Rapids Press, was giving a talk, and Fred was immediately captivated by not only Ben, but how connected the Rotary Club was to the community. There's so many different people and perspectives that it brought together. Just 5 years after that talk, Fred officially became a member and made an incredible impact during his tenure. In 1962, he sponsored Paul Phillips for membership for the first African American elected to public office in Grand Rapids. Fred also advocated for the inclusion of women as members of the Rotary Club, one being Nan Van Andel, who joined in 1987. So these are just some of the many stories that show Fred's love for the Rotary Club of Grand Rapids. And we are pleased to be here today to continue his legacy of service and leadership. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
I already started crying, so I'm just going to have Andy come up here and accept this well-deserved award Everyone a round of applause for Andy DeVries.
You know what's so cool about this is I knew Fred. And when I was in high school, I had short hair. Real short hair. Everybody had short hair. Something really fascinating happened in the mid-'60s. There was a bunch of guys that could play instruments, and they were good musicians, and they came to America. They're called the Beatles. I've got short hair and no girlfriends. Every guy in town had short hair and no girlfriends. The Beatles came to town, and everybody wanted to be their boyfriend. So I grew my hair. I also was a bagger at Myers. And in 1965, I was a bagger at the Little Store on the corner of Walker and Leonard. I went to bagger school. And McDonald's has McDonald's school. I went to bagger school for Fred. It wasn't paper or plastic. It was one bag or two bags. I want that double bag, yes ma'am. And we would bag, and we learned how to frame a bag. You put the things around the bottom, and then you put the bread on the top. And you put the eggs separate, and you put the ice cream separate. And you do all that, and you get pretty good at it. And you get to know the people who are in the West Side, and they're good people. Fred had an idea that we're going to do Meyer Thrifty Acres. The first one was on 28th and Kalamazoo. Went boom. The second one was on Alpine. They had a grand opening. It went so big that you would have thought it was Woodland Mall on the day before Christmas. There wasn't a parking spot open anywhere. This place was just crazy. They ran out of baggers. So this little truck came by, a pickup truck, and he picked up baggers. There must have been 11 or 12 of us sitting in the back of that pickup truck, going to the bagger store, or to the Meyer store for the grand opening. And we are bagging like crazy. I remember getting cuts on my cuticles, bagging like a madman. There's a tap on my shoulder. I was too busy bagging to respond. Another tap. Young man, young man. I didn't turn around. Young man. I said, yes. I turned around. It's Fred Meyer. Fred said, you need a haircut. I said, I need a haircut to bag. He said, you need a haircut. I took my bagger apron off. I said, then you bag. And I quit. That was one of the dumber things I did. My buddy Kurt Stahl kept bagging, and he worked for Meyer for the rest of his life. We both started at the Little Store. So, that's my connection to Fred. Many years later, I'm at Rotary. And Neil told that story about how we started Strive. A few years after that, I was elected president. And we were getting more kids and more kids involved. And it was time that was spent. It was time that was spent with the kids that made the difference. You know, it wasn't so much, I made the mistake of taking my mentees out to lunch. I didn't get a connection that way, but the time I spent, I did homework with these kids. I helped them learn how to study. I helped them learn how to pass a test, how to get a C+ rather than a D-. They started doing things well and doing things right. And we didn't have the money, so it was crazy. I thought of myself as quite an athlete, so I challenged everybody in the club to any kind of sport. And I thought, I can play anything. I'll challenge you. And we had other 44 broken bones and a closed head injury. And that was the end of my athletic career. I couldn't do much after that. Who came to see me in the hospital? It was Fred. Came to support me. It was Fred. Not Fred and a whole bunch of people, it was just Fred. And I learned so much from it. It's time. It's time you spend with people. It's not the money you give to people, that helps. But it's the time you spend. It's the investment of time that you make that makes a difference. I had a liver issue that my liver failed, and I was on the transplant list. And over a period of 3 years, I lost my memory. And I had to learn how to read at 55. I had to learn how to do math all over. It was brutal. I would come to Rotary, and my friends in Rotary really supported me. My family supported me. Everybody supported me. It was just a huge support. Fred did. Fred would come sit by me and say, "How are you doing?" Fred would take time. Service of self. Things continued. I was teaching at Calvin at the time, and I was really struggling in the class because I couldn't remember. Math was hard. Remembering kids was hard. And it was a real challenge. Life was difficult. I transitioned from that position of teaching and finding internships to fundraising. The president of Calvin at the time had a offer or a promotion in front of Fred that was going to take care of the foreign languages at Calvin. It was a big gift. And Fred and the president disagreed about how the gift would be paid. And the president kind of pushed Fred and said, "Well, if it's not this way, we're not going to do it." And Fred said, "Well, we won't do it." So the president said to me, "You know, Fred, do you think you could get the funding?" And I said, "Yeah, I could." And I called Fred, and it was just the two of us sitting down together. And I presented it, and I said, "What did you think about that?" He said, "I really want to do that." And I said, "Well, if we do it, would you do it at your terms?" And he said, "Yes." Went back to the president, and he said, "Yes, we'll do that." So we got the deal. I got it signed. I came back. I felt like a champ. I was waving that sign thing over my head. We got it. We got it. 2 days later, the president came to see me. He said, "Hey," he said, "did you check the math on that?" I missed a zero. It was a big zero. And Fred had signed that. His attorney had signed it. It's a done deal. And the president was really unhappy with me. And I said, "I'll call him." He says, "He's not going to change that. This is a done deal." I said, "I think he will." I called him up and said, "Fred, it's Andy." He said, "You screwed up, didn't you?" What a wonderful guy. I couldn't believe, well, I did believe it because I knew Fred. And he says, "Come on back, we'll fix it." And just like that, it was fixed. And that was Fred to me. There were different times that he just exemplified service above self by being a friend, by helping out in times of need. And that's what we're doing at Rotary, especially with our Strive program. We have between 20 and 25 kids every year who are in the Grand Rapids Public Schools that are struggling. And we provide mentors with them. I mentored a lot of kids when I was at Calvin. Would you mind, I've got some of them here. Would you mind standing if you were a mentee? I have one special one, Cat Stahl. She came from Africa to be here tonight. She teaches German in Germany to English students. And then during her sabbatical, she goes to, is it Namibia or Uganda? And she takes old dilapidated bus stops and she paints murals on them and cleans up stuff. And just an amazing person. All these Menti, I just love these kids. They're not kids anymore, they're parents. But you know, that was the start of Strive. When Strive taught me how to do that. Meeting with kids, making a difference, taking the time to help them. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help support that program. And I ask you to dig for that and really help support us. I'd be remiss if I didn't say something about Valley. In your bags, you can find a Battlefield hat. And my dear friend Paul Soltesiak and I were playing catch about 7 years ago at Valley Field with maybe 7 old guys. We all played at Valley Field when we were kids. And we thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could save this place?
Yeah!
And Valley Field was just falling into such disrepair. It was just a mess. And Paul and I were sitting having a few pops at the holiday, and we said, you know what? We could do this. And it was just like Strive. When Joe Boyden says, we'll do it. And Paul and I says, well, let's do it. And Steve joined us, and we got a whole table full, and Chris was over here, and we've raised $5 million to save that. If you take out the hat in your bag, you'll see that one of our sponsors is Rotary.
Yeah.
So let's hear it for Rotary. And I'm so humbled to receive this because it's from Fred. And it makes all the difference in the world to me. I can't thank my parent or my family enough, my parents, my family enough. For me to do all this stuff, Kay's got to be behind me, supporting me, and she did. And I'm so grateful that she said I do 55 years ago. And with our kids over here, thank you for this award. It's been a lifetime of service, and I wish you the best.
I'm a recent fan of the fans of Valley Field, but they're a great group of people, and I can see why Andy was so passionate about supporting this. And it's right in the heart of our city, and it's really, really incredible to see you make the progress that you've made. So I feel like the whole room could have stood up when he asked who's been a mentee. Who has been a mentee of Andy DeVries? I mean, truly. Raise your hand. We've all been impacted by this man. One of my favorite, and I'm freeballing here, so one of my come to lunch if you want to see more. We make Thursdays at Kent Country Club. Seriously though, become a Rotary member. It's amazing, and they are like a family. Andy's not joking. The way that we show up for each other is unbelievable. Best group of people around. But one of my favorite stories is they used to do a roast at the end of the Rotary President year. And Andy told me that at the end of his year, they did a full-blown trial at Cascade Country Club, and with a jury and everything, and put him on trial for every idea he came up with and every service project throughout that year. And I'm sure you were there for a while, because that is at the core of everything that you do. My second thought was, thank God they didn't do that anymore.
Never say never.
Probably shouldn't have said anything. All right, so without further ado, I'd like to invite Michael Seitzma up here. I don't know where he's at. There you are. He was the foundation president last year, and a great man. He's done a lot of incredible things for our community as well. So, Michael, could you come up here, and we're going to do our paddle race.
Andy, thank you. I have one of these in my closets. I don't have one with the logos on the side. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim Williams.
Thank you, Jim Williams, wherever you are. As Shannon said, I'm Michael Seitzma. I have the privilege of being a member of the Rotary Club, wrapping up service on the foundation board. I have the privilege really of coming up and trying to give all of us an opportunity to do two things tonight. And it's really why we're here. To honor this great man and the things that he's done, the lives he's touched, and the example that he has given. And the second part, which is also very important, is to help raise money for the Rotary Foundation so that we can continue to support endeavors and people and organizations that have the similar heart to Andy DeVries. What Andy does is takes a spark and grows it, says yes, and creates something. What often is needed is time. Organizations and make things happen. We specialize in finding the things that are not seen that can be exponentially raised with just a nugget of treasure. We don't have billions of dollars, but we have money to give, and when we do it thoughtfully, and we do it with the people and the organizations that make the biggest impact. So I'm going to ask you for some opportunities to give some money. I'm going to start at a big number. I was told $5 million is good. My thought that would be cool. I didn't think we would do it. Once you right now, if one trying to tell you, but before you do that, if you would just 2 or 4 minutes, just one. Rather, I'm going to call your number. Rather, battle in front of you if you want. This is a freebie. But please do me a favor. Take that and raise it upside down. Just, all right, there we go. Right, keep it up. Here's the next shot. See where your hands right now. Go ahead. Hi. Okay. Somebody doesn't reach that.